like you
The
fellas.
kings.
It's
The
great to be
kings.
back here. We're missing our captain RT. He's on vacation to FTX. He decided to go visit the offices, and so it's just us. We got with me as always Jew.Bacca. What's up, Jew.Bacca?
How's it going, man?
Dude, future's bright. Jedi, a long time Pidian. Prior to my era in the pit, he was there, mining coal back in the day. What's up, Jedi?
Yeah, good to be here, boys. How are you?
It's great to have you, friend. And then we got Rob Levy. The
Yes.
institutions have come to buy our back.
No, I am not the institutions, my man.
I
am
mean,
not
well,
the
with your
institutions.
backdrop, you look like pretty institutional, dude.
Yeah, no. This is benefit of just working with the Solana Labs office and get to come down when I come to the city, working in a nice office. But it is a pleasure to be with you, degenerates. That's for sure.
Let's get into
I
it. We
mean,
got a lot to talk about.
yeah, we're talking about the pit. Like, I grew up in the fucking pit, and we had our own banter all day, like in a pit full of smelly, disgusting dudes for the most part. Like,
Yeah, now we don't have to
sweating
smell
and-
each other. It's great.
Exactly.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
metaverse pit is so much better, I assume.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for
Exactly.
any fellow pit members who decided to tune in. As always, you can drop questions and comments in YouTube. We're monitoring that. Also monitoring the pit itself. And if you're not a member of the pit, what you do is you go to hxro.com. That's hxro.com. And then you're going to look for the community tab. And when you go to the community tab, you're going to be invited into the Hxro Discord where you can join the pit and get offended or upset. That's basically what we do there. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
we talk
imagine
about basically
having-
alpha, shit coins, things that people are saying on Twitter. It's a lot of fun. So make sure to join. But let's get
It's
into
great.
the topic.
Lots of fucking info, man. There's so much
so-
info in there, and just seeing stuff, seeing names, like it's so helpful for if you're really looking at markets. Like if you're
100%.
trading, like getting info, yeah.
100%.
Go
And
ahead.
if you
Do
miss
your
the
thing, brother.
news, it's great because they'll repost the same news 6 times in the same day.
Yeah, I think today someone has reposted that, like FUD from the U.S. Treasury maybe 5 times.
Yeah, exactly. They want to make sure that you know what's going on. They want to make
Yeah.
sure you're informed.
It's good fun.
Well, let's talk about the state of the market, gents. Should we start off and just do a little market review, pull up some charts? What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you
Wait,
think,
hold on a
Jew.Bacca?
second. I want to just one word from each one of you. Bearish or bullish? I know what Rob's going to say, but the rest of you.
Yeah, so we're talking low time frame, right?
I think low time frame, yeah.
Yeah, low time frame, bullish, but that doesn't mean BTC needs to go up. I could see BTC chopping, but we still get like an ETH lag, we get like an alt lag. That's kind of my base case right now.
Yeah.
Rob?
Oh dear. I can tell you that long term, I have never ever been more bullish.
Yeah.
Ever. Like,
That's
Yeah.
so
Oh my
weird that you
God.
say that. I didn't expect you to
Yeah.
come
I know. No, but I'm
Perma
telling
bear
you,
over here.
I know. No, but long term, like, and even just for Bitcoin itself, in my mind, like the product market fit for Bitcoin is proving itself out way faster than I ever could have dreamed and thought it would. I mean, the banking shenanigans, this fucking crazy shit here. Like, we are literally watching it, like this evolution of markets and liquidity and central bank shenanigans and human fallibility. And I'm so fucking long-term bullish. It's crazy that I'm not even looking, guys. This is the least amount of short-term trading I've done in the last 22 years, right? This last stretch. But so I don't know, but it seems like we're at the top of a range.
Right.
there would be zero doubt in my mind that this thing couldn't reprice to 40 grand in a fucking bracket. It could and it should. Like, I think it's so wildly long-term underpriced, but I don't know what the fuck's going to go on. I think that, like, macro-wise, there's so much, like, there is so much mud in the water and so much shit that we don't even fucking think of and know what's going on, that any headline could bring the entire thing down 10, 15, 20% in a second.
Yep.
So overall, I'm not feeling like so warm and fuzzy about global markets and liquidity, but like for Bitcoin itself and non-sovereign currency and networks and like everything we're building on chain, I've never been more fucking bullish in my life. And it's, so I know I copped out on the short term, but we're at the top of a range.
Rob Levy, I definitely love you, sir. Thank you very much for bringing that to the table. Circa, how are you feeling about the markets?
Dude, I'm feeling like we are going to scam up and deviate the range yet again today.
Today? Wow. Okay.
Overall, I'm bearish. I think we're at, this is obviously bear market rally top territory for me. So, you know my opinion.
Yeah. So my sentiment is exactly that. Obviously long term, I'm in the same supreme yacht that Rob Levy is sailing in, and I'm probably sitting next to him at the helm. I feel the same way. The shenanigans, the fuckery that's going on right now is just so conducive for this beautiful thing that is Bitcoin. Because did you see this post today that came out that if you go into the terminal on a Mac, that you can actually bring up the
that's a great Easter egg.
Bitcoin white paper. I mean, I actually was like, no bullshit, and I went onto my laptop and I checked it out, and
it was better than the
most
YouTube album being preloaded, right?
Yeah,
it's way better.
Anyway, so I feel the same way.
Yeah,
it is.
Well, I gotta represent RT's views, right? If he, because he's not here to represent himself.
Yeah. What would he say?
He would say, he would probably say we're gonna break this resistance, right?
No, dude, you want me to tell you what he's gonna say? He's gonna say I'm long as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
No, I think he cut some exposure, actually.
Right, he did. But that was, I think,
Yeah.
for the trip.
Yeah, that's true, because he wasn't gonna be watching.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no better time to have to cut exposure than at the top of a
very convenient
kind of a range or at a key level. No, but I fucking agree with it. I would have guessed he would have just cut a little bit too, because it's probably in one of his reload or shorting zone, like looking for kind of shorts and stuff.
Man.
Which I think work wonders. And why not manage risk in a calculated way? I think that's some of the best shit that I love about looking at charts the way that you guys do and RT and all that. You need to. I mean, if you're gonna be a short-term trader, you need to use all the fucking tools you can.
Yeah.
And if you're not short-term to where microseconds matter, then you need to really use as many fucking.
Did we lose him?
Uh-oh.
Damn.
The tea lady tripped on the.
Yeah. There we go.
The tea lady.
There he is.
Sorry.
No, you're all good, dude. You were saying you need to use as many
tools as possible. I don't know if you heard my microsecond bit or not, but I mean, if you're not trading that way, then you need to use as many tools as you can to try to get your edge.
Well, as we know, that is where I trade, is on these micro time frames, 1M, 5M, 3M. And on that respect, it looks like we made a higher support here, and that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But, and as you guys know, I'm not one to look at the daily or the weekly a whole lot, but that's where I start to get concerned, is on the daily and the weeklies. RSI dropping off, momentum kind of waning. And then a really cool thing that I've been looking at a lot is CVD, which imagine Rob knows what this is. But for those of you out there who don't, CVD is just cumulative volume delta. So it shows you the difference between buy and sell orders accumulated over time. And I've been really eyeing this whole, if you look here, start of this rally, we had spot CVD falling off. So just more spot selling than buying all the way until we made that retrace to 19.6 and then fume. It spiked up. Same with perps. So perp driven rally up until 25 down to 19.6 and then both perps and spot take off. Perps start aggregate selling at around here 27.3 and then spot started aggregate selling as well, kind of leveled off, but now they're kind of picking back up. And it's just an interesting way to look at it, is like the aggression in the market is mostly coming from spot up in this range.
That's a good thing, right? That's
Typically it's good. You know, you could imagine, oh, they're, you know, why buy spot bags unless you expect higher, but also, you know, this may be just whales loading up for next cycle, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like people who have been here, like OGs, are just kind of seeing this as a big chop, and they're just, you know, DCing during this whole rally. And, you know, they probably don't think we make new lows by any significant margin and don't really care. So.
Yeah.
I mean, from a lows perspective, a lot of guys are saying it's going to possibly go back to 18. And the way that I see it right now is that 25 and a half almost seems like the sweet spot if and when we have a major retrace. I don't know whether it's going to go below the 25. And that might speak to that narrative, is that why how much low is it going to go? Well, if it goes to 25, it doesn't really matter. I've DCA'd. I'm good, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great spot to start DCAing. I mean, there's going to be several points of just like peak fear, right, in the next year. And is that peak fear going to line up with a number lower than 25? I'm going to say probably, but
yeah.
I think that there's going to be so much fucking spot buying like coming up. I think that there's enough people out there that like big money, like I hear it from in little pockets, that there's enough big high net worth and family office and institutional folks that are living through absolute back office shit shows right now with the banking world. And, you know, you see what happened with Credit Suisse, you see what happened with UBS, you see what happened in the US, you look at like the amount of uninsured bank deposits just in general and how big that is. Like the bottom line to me is that there are some people who never ever even thought about Bitcoin because maybe they truly didn't know what the fuck it was or wouldn't even look at it, that are now seeing it as like a place that they need to park cash and they just need to own it because they see what's going on. I think we're going to see a spot bid. And how the thing to me, and even looking at CVD and all this other stuff, how does the market soak up that demand? Are the big liquidity providers, are they going to immediately go to the spot market to hedge that flow? Or are they going to just start buying futures and perps and options and doing different stuff to get those deltas back? I personally haven't looked into CVD closely enough because I'm just not trading at that level right now, that time frame and all of that, to see like how it's not that it's gameable, but like the big liquidity providers who are seeing and touching the most flow, like are they choosing to hedge in different instruments to make it look like certain things are happening? Are they doing
this
it
would
because
indicate massive hedging, right? All the spot buying and then perps, you know, just locking in that hedge.
But the spot, I would think the spot buying though, is that not hedging? Is that like new institutions opening up a Coinbase institutional account and starting to put millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars to work, and then whoever's on Coinbase, you know, providing liquidity in those books in the spot market, be like, okay, we just got taken out. Right now we're hedging with perps and doing all this shit, but we're gonna have to put more Bitcoin on the Coinbase to sell more there. Like I think, you know, we just have to. I don't know how gameable it is. I don't know if it even makes sense for any of the biggest, smartest players to play optical, like, and think about it that way. I don't know, because I'm not following it close enough. But I do think you have to take some of that probably with a grain of salt, and think about, like, okay, bottom line is spots getting bought, like,
Yeah.
period. Someone in player, yeah. So
I would agree. Yeah, I'm like obviously long-term bullish.
yeah.
You know, it's like that's undeniable.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
of better buying opportunities in Q3 and Q4, as a lot of you who might have seen previous streams know. And I've been really monitoring the bank situation through the lens of this move index here, which has done some scary things for the bond market. And it's now heading back up. I saw someone tweeting about how, oh, it's at 153. That's like get out of all markets territory equivalent to the VIX. And I was like, it went to 200 the other day. Like, that's a lot worse, but maybe it dies down and we, you know, either this is like accumulation, right? It's like, this is like high time frame accumulation. Maybe it like just goes sideways here, or even breaks this resistance and starts playing around in this whole quadrant right here before the next bull market, or we go back and fill in more of this range. Either way, the general prognosis is like by 2024, we're playing up here, you know, sometime in 2024. I don't know. What do you guys think about that higher
But do you realize, like, from a psychological perspective, I mean, obviously it's all psychological, but really from a psychological perspective, if you go and start playing in that upper quadrant, what is going to happen from a normie perspective? Normies will come back into this market faster than you can say, Bob. I mean, it will be unprecedented. We will never see anything like this probably in the history of frickin' markets. So it was what Rob was saying early on, is that markets are just like there's mud in the water, dude. You can't see shit. Bitcoin goes into that upper quadrant, it's a different ball game. Absolutely different ball game. I think it will just go absolutely ballistic.
So Jedi, I think
better hope you're
point. Sorry, Rob. Go for it.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, better hope you're in the right bags, because they're going to come for them. That point. But
yeah, I guess that's kind of part of my very low time frame bull thesis for ETH and alts, is that like we're right on this cusp of kind of like normie level liquidity, and the market like wants to grab that liquidity and just dump on them.
I think so, yeah.
And so we're like so close to just normies being like, oh wow, crypto's not dead. And as soon as they think that, it's like, we're gonna nuke. And they don't think that yet. The normies are still shorting right now. I saw this great tweet today that said, whoever analyzed Bitcoin movement up from around 22 to 23K can clearly feel this whole uptrend is powerless, used solely to lure people to FOMO in. If price had gone up to 35 or 40K already, we would have seen serious drop back to mid 20K at least, if not below. This is fake.
I've drawn my general market thesis on the screen. I think you guys know.
Yeah.
You guys know what happens next, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a sensible high time frame perspective. It sounds like we either go up or down. Good thoughts from everybody. Let's jump down the list here of things we wanted to talk about. We talked Jew.Bacca, you added here chop market accumulation and farming strategies. Seems like you want to tell us something. What's going on, bud?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty easy way to start planning for the next bull, is to basically pick your favorite coins from each chain, and you basically get into some farms. You double up your stack over the next 12 months, and then when the full bulla is back on, you exit the farm, and you just hold your stack. And so I think like it's a really positive EV strategy to be identifying like which farms you want to be a part of right now. I think Solidity Dexes on basically every single chain. OP Velo, that's obviously going to be a big one in my
The
opinion.
MAIA DAO boys, the MAIA DAO boys are
Yeah.
just absolutely just swinging it out the park, man.
The
Yeah.
what?
A day,
Metis,
MAIA
right?
DAO. Yeah, so
Oh,
they're
right,
about
right,
to go to
right.
Arbitrum. They're going to take Hermes to Arbitrum, and they're just going to
Oh, they are.
completely. So, dude, a day after the Uniswap license expired, they launched their Uniswap version 3 as obviously Hermes, because they're obviously the main DEX on Metis.
Yep.
What should I
And they're
throw
in
on
the-
screen right now to illustrate what you guys are
Dude.
talking about?
So bring up MAIA, MAIA.
MAIA. All right.
Go to Dex Screener. I'm not sure whether
Yeah,
it will be on.
Come on.
Yeah.
I know which one to go.
So I mean, this is probably one of the most undervalued DeFi protocols out there. I mean, it's at 7.2 million. Probably the most worthy Solidity fork that has come out. They've fiddled with
Nice.
it. They've done stuff. The devs on this thing are super gigabrain, very DeFi orientated. Nothing happens without their governance proposals. I mean, these guys are so fastidious. Busy with their audits now to take this thing to Arbitrum. This is a good play. And I mean, we were talking about this play at like $8, $9, which wasn't even that long ago. And now it's sitting at $40. I mean, this is an easy 4x. Yeah, I mean, it's just been so good. Hermes right now is sitting at a 3.3 million, which is just ridiculous. I mean, that thing is easily 10x that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
what's that? He's doing research.
Hermes.
Yeah.
The researcher.
Yeah.
The researcher.
Yeah.
Hey, looks. When was it trading? I'm just looking at the chart. I haven't seen it, but what did it spend some real time up there in the hundreds,
Yeah,
or
can you-
what are we
Not
looking
much.
at? Was that?
Yeah, that was the
You see,
Metis
the
bull,
thing is,
dude.
so there's an
God.
interesting story behind that chart. The reflection on that chart is Metis, November, December gets
Right.
launched. It sees the kind of tail end of this pseudo bull market that we had, because I think the bull market was kind of tailing off at that point in time, and Metis was just absolutely spinning. I mean, it was
That was the
like,
last real alt season we got.
Yeah.
right? BTC was cratering, and we were all playing alts and being like, "Who would even
Playing.
hold BTC?"
yeah, it was like by then we had sold BDC. We were completely like, I mean, Metis was at like $300, guys. Now it's
Yeah.
sitting at 35 or something stupid. $30. It's like 10x less.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I mean, you talk about farms, you talk about that aspect. Jew.Bacca, you spot on, dude. I mean, this is one of those players. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Metis farms like this is an easy win. You basically take the same strategy and apply it to Arbitrum, Phantom, Optimism. I think you've got yourself like a great bull market bag for next cycle.
And your beta is really coming from the fact that these market caps haven't exploded yet.
Yep.
So if you can do some smart picking there and pick stuff that's not just gonna die,
Exactly.
you're almost guaranteed to do all right by 2025.
Yep.
So I want to just go back, just kind of a topic to fill in when we started the conversation when Rob came on, and the question was like how are you seeing the market at the moment beyond just the charts and liquidity and all that good stuff. And I want to actually talk about that because I mean we look at Hxro and what Hxro Network is doing. For one, I mean, I know for a fact that it's probably one of the busiest times that you've ever had in probably the last 3-4 years. I mean, I had a chat with Gunny the other day, and it's like, I don't know how you guys are actually even managing to stay in your seats without seatbelts. It's like, so that's the one thing. And then, like from our perspective, like we obviously get a lot of projects coming to us wanting us to write about what it is that they're doing, and I haven't seen this influx of projects number since I started doing this over a year ago. Obviously, it was kind of like at the start of the bear market, but even Grant was saying that he even in the middle of 2021 was probably the last time he saw this kind of activity, like within the context of new projects coming in and good projects as well. Not because, so what happens is you get the tail end of like a rally, like the normal rally, and then you get these shitty projects that come out like forks and like Ponzi's and like all sorts of scammy kind of stuff. and then it tapers off, and then it goes silent. Nothing happens. No one's doing anything, and then the real projects start coming out, and they kind of have a bit of money, and it's really valuable stuff. And now we're seeing that again. A couple of shitty ones, but overall, super impressive stuff. I mean, there's some great projects coming up in the future. Really good.
Yeah, I mean, as technology, it kind of seasons, and so now even we're like, when you think about it, we're 30-40% longer lifespan of this technology than it was 5 years ago, right? I mean, we're how many years in? It's like 13, 14 years, but it was just Bitcoin
years.
for the beginning. I mean, it's like it moves so fast. Stuff is moving so fast. There are some fucking smart people building some ridiculously cool stuff, and a lot of stuff. Honestly, the best part in my seat is that this stuff in the end is going to make the experience for the end user, whether it's an end trader, whether it's an end borrower or lender, whether it's an end bettor, whatever it is, like the efficiencies here, the security, the non-custodial piece, but the efficiencies on pricing of stuff like liquidity, it is about to get so much better for the individual user. Now, regulatory shit and jurisdictional and who can use it and stuff, fucking A, right? That is the biggest disaster ever, and it's a nasty abyss of people trying to regulate and rule who don't even understand it for the most part. And if you think about it globally, it's crazy. I mean, but the people who are in jurisdictions who let them like really use this stuff, they are in for a treat. It's the same thing as like trading overall. When trading before like true electronic markets, the bid-ask spread between like the most heavily traded stocks was wide. Like now it's like, oh, you want to buy Apple? All right, pick a price. Here's a price. You want to buy it or sell it there, period. Like it's one price. It's like, it's so tight. So to think about tech making that possible across so many different industries and products, like the user is in for a treat. Now, user, like hopefully you don't get fucked using the wrong platform or Sam stealing your money, or then when it comes to a protocol, there's a whole new level of like protocol risk and pricing that and insurance on protocol risk. And like, so we're definitely entering new territory here, but the most exciting thing truly is that the end user is about to get way better pricing on shit across the board. Like that to me is so clear. So that's great. It is the most exciting time, period.
I think maybe this cycle, maybe next, but there's going to be an inflection point where all of this infrastructure fades into the background. Because you see, we even made fun of it in the pit the other day. So, like someone tweeted like the first MEV optimized real yield. Like there's like 80 different, things that go before like what the protocol is. And it's like,
is that fold?
What? Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
it goes full. Yeah.
The very first, 80 different, descriptors. And it's like the end user doesn't care about any of that.
Yeah.
But the people who are looking at it is like, eventually this stuff fades into the background, and what's most useful for, the front end of what it will eventually be, they're looking at those things. And I think, one of these cycles, if not the next one, we're going to see that fade into the background, and the end user, gets their thing that they can actually like, brainlet, just push a button and everything works,
I think we're starting to see some of that with the real world assets narrative. And I'm not saying that, these
centrifuge, dude, I still got my pre-sale allo, please.
Yeah, I'm not saying these protocols are actually doing what they say they're going to do, but I think the idea is just catching on. And fractionalized real estate, synthetics is just an easy narrative for next cycle, I think.
Yeah, it's also going to be amazing. The next crash after the next cycle, when real world assets are involved.
Yeah.
That should be fun, dude. Speaking of, we wanted to talk about narratives for next cycle. You brought up RWA. Yes. Someone in the chat mentioned tapioca, which I as you guys know, I was like bullish on layer 0 from the top last cycle. Still bullish on it. I think they're some of the smartest people in the space when it comes to interchain, EVM, MEV optimized, real yields, you know, all that stuff. So what are your guys' top like narratives that you're looking for next cycle that you're accumulating in?
I think central exchanges are going to be a minor voice, a small voice in the space. If you guys could see the quality of the dexes that are coming to light and the liquidity that they're looking to capture and how they're looking to capture it from a yield optimization perspective, from a spread optimization perspective, it is mind-blowing, guys. Like an instant, smooth, just insane experience. Binance is already looking to do the same thing on chain. They've already started the process, and they're behind the curve at the moment. There are some ridiculous ones. I mean, GMX, as we know, the darling of DeFi, they basically defined the bear market. If you were in fucking GMX, it was a home run, guys, like repeatedly, and it still is, and it'll still continue to be so. And I think for me, like the DEX aspect is key to this whole thing. Now what needs to be sorted out is the keys to the kingdom around on-ramp and off-ramp, because obviously, as you know, the banks, the fuckery, all of that stuff, now we need the proper
and
players
local
to come in
Bitcoin's
and
shut
open
down
those.
now.
Yeah, dude. We need that open, and the guys that do that hand in hand with these dexes, they're the guys that are going to be sitting in the driving seat, and they're the guys that are going to print next cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think last cycle, if you wanted to guarantee your underperformance, all you had to do was maxi out on a DEX or a bridge.
Yes.
And you would have guaranteed underperformed everybody else. This cycle might be the exact opposite for that reason, I think.
Yeah. So all these real world permutations of financial instruments, I mean, that's obviously what Hxro's doing. That's what the synthetic market is doing. That's also next. That's also that they're like on the starting line right now as well, on the starting blocks, waiting for the gun to fire, and they're going to fill that gap. And TradFi, as it is, like Rob was saying earlier, it's going to change, dude, and it's going to all happen in some form on chain. Why? Because it's faster, it's cheaper, it's fucking better, way better.
Yeah. DMG wants us to talk about on-chain options. What do you guys think about on-chain options?
On-chain options they're coming from nothing, and they are going to grow dramatically. I mean,
you're the options guy, aren't you, Rob?
Yeah. No, I am. It's been my career. I started as a market maker in the options pits at the CBOE, and then was a market maker in the pits at the Board of Trade, and provided automated quotes on stuff like that. I think that it's obviously been slower to develop than, let's just say, futures or perps in that, and I think it's for a reason. I think that purely on chain, it's easier to do linear and spot markets and just straight futures, but options are going to grow massively. I mean, these instruments are some of the most used and the most efficient tools for speculating and managing risk, and they're targeting them shorter and shorter time frames. But shorter and shorter time frames of these things means this is the hardest liquidity to really price for market makers and real liquidity providers. So the system of margin and of capital efficiency, everything is about to sharpen your pencils and watch what happens in this space coming up. It's going to be absolutely mind-boggling. But I do think it's one of those things that I feel like 3 years ago people were talking about ZK stuff, and it took time for finally something comes out. I think that options it's going to be a bit slower than people expect, and that's fine. You're going to see little bits and bobs here, and people who you see the horse race, but it's not, in my mind, going to be a winner take all type of thing. I think there's going to be many different solutions, many different ways to improve liquidity in many different areas of the options universe, right? When you think about the overall like volatility surface, you know? So it is really, really exciting. Really exciting. I'm spending, you know, a lot of time thinking about this and working on it. But you know, what I hope we see is some non-market stuff really take off, like non-dex, non-futures, non-options. I mean, the futures and options, it's going to throw off so much more fees and value than we can even imagine. Like if you're in the right stuff there, like you said, GMX home run, like there's going to be stuff that is going to blow our minds with how much value that they create for the network and price efficiency and all that. But you know, I'd like to think about other places. If I'm not, you know, I feel like I'm in that monkey house 24 hours a day. So if I'm going to just, you know, stick my thumb in the air and talk about, you know, some other area, I think we've seen a lot of signals to me that the decentralization and how that evolves in this whole social sphere.
Yeah.
Right. Like Twitter is more of a story. Like Twitter's a story itself now about how Elon's running it. Some people think he's turned it to shit. Some people think he's doing a great job. Like he doesn't give a fuck. That's the thing. It's like, dude's paid $45 billion, whatever he raised for it, and it's his. Like he's doing what he wants with it. People are addicted to Twitter. Twitter is a great product. We'll see how that goes. Twitter, you know, there's going to be evolution in like social and decentralized social.
The Lens protocol airdrop is rumored to be any day now, and Lens protocol.
So Lens,
is exactly what you're talking about.
And I will tell you, like, I've never used Lens. The one that I used at the beginning was DESO, and I was following Nader before DESO, like with his basis thing. Like Nader to me is a very smart technical founder, and I think he understands a lot of financial stuff outside of just the code. But like, you know, so I have followed BitCloud from the beginning, and people like, you know, don't like this, you know, the way that they launched with his VC guys who have supported him in the past getting a first look, and that whole creator coin thing. There was real lightning in a bottle that can be captured there. But like when I look at DESO just from a black and white perspective, it owns still, and you can track it in their wallet where they own 2,500 Bitcoin, and they own like 28 million USD of cash. So they own like $100 million of like pure fucking funds. They're spending like, I think 5 million a year. I don't know, something like that. They've 16 years of runway.
They got a lot of room to be wrong here and there before they.
But dude, the token's 98% out there. And like the book value, they own $100+ million of like Bitcoin and dollars. It's like you're getting the token for free. And I don't know about Lens. Lens might be the best tech ever. I haven't looked into it, but the bottom line is like this thing's fucking free, and there's no overhang of sellers. Like everyone who dumped DESO, if you pull up that chart, they fucking dumped that shit hard. So. To me,
I remember
like,
you bringing DESO up on previous streams.
Yeah. And I don't know, like bottom line, I followed Nader from before, but this is something that's $100 million token cap market cap, but they have 100.
This
thing's about to. I think it's good.
I love charts like that.
This thing is about to fucking go.
Yeah, you gotta love charts.
I'm telling you.
What the hell?
I think. Yeah. I know.
Dude, Rob with the alpha all of a sudden. What's going on here?
But I shit you not. And then also like they just let out what Nader calls a revolutionary. Like he thinks, he's like, listen, we took our time on our staking, and he just released a way too long paper. I did not read. I kind of like read the cliff notes of his thread, but I honestly think this is like, if I'm looking at an alt that's non-markets, non-options, futures, all that, if I'm just like, this to me is it's got $100 million of cash and it's just mispriced. But
yeah,
who knows?
Like
it might be.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude.
I like the lack of correlation to, to other, instruments aspect of it.
It's illiquid. It's on Coinbase, which is great. But like, when I look at the market, I'm like, what the fuck happened here? Why does it get why does it get sold off so hard after someone comes in and buys like $2 million of this stuff? It's just the crypto market makers who automatically like offered it 8 in your face. You just paid me 15. Like, I don't want to sell any more 15s. As soon as you're done, I'm at 8. Like, what? I don't get it. And I'm not looking at this every day. But the bottom line is, when you look at the numbers on this, like, Lens might be great, but there's no way Lens has 98% of its tokens out there already circulating, and it's got 100 million. Like, it's like a free kind of call. So I don't know.
Damn, dude, you got any more juicy charts like this?
How's this? Oh, man.
I don't. I'm telling you, we have been so heads down, like, working on stuff right now. This is as out of touch with the market and with shitcoins and with trading as I've been, honestly, in years. So I know this one because I've followed it. I've followed DESO. I had, guys that I know well and friends who had worked with Nader. So they just, like, I've been following it for a while. Obviously, like, it traded a lot higher, and then it got absolutely smoked. There were a few big sellers, and I don't know. I just like the setup and
this looks. I mean, this volume on that first attempt at breaking back out to the upside is pretty crazy. When was that? That was during the right after the 2022 little bear market rally. It's pretty interesting.
And also, it's got another thing that I really love that MAIA used to have, where you see these, like, space needles, where you get a whale who truly doesn't give a fuck about anything, and he gets in there like an absolute ape, like, idiot, and he buys millions of dollars or something, no cares on price, drives it from like 50 to 100, and he's like, all right, I got it because I'm going to be selling it for 1,000 in 2-3 years, and I don't care, I don't want to look at it. It's done that a few times. And MAIA had the same, like, there was some ape who did that, and I don't know if it was before auctions for Decentralized, but I like the space needle. I call it, like, it's when you see that there's apes in there that they just want units, and they don't care. Like, I know I want a certain amount of this shit. I'm buying it. I don't give a fuck. And
there's so much conviction. It's like such a long-term play. It's
Well, I've always been interested in opportunities for, the unique properties of blockchains to serve some non-financialized area of the economy. All the attempts I've seen thus far have just, like, not escaped this sort of, like, hyper financialization of anything that comes into crypto. So, like, if it doesn't print people money, they're generally not interested, or because of blockchain and how it works, it's subpar to the real world corollary. Same with social. Like, social is obviously has up until now been done better in Web 2 because it's just faster and there's less to learn, and it's just like, idiots can post stuff. That's kind of the whole goal. But I know I know there is going to be a marriage of those unique properties, decentralization, censorship resistance to something.
Well, I mean, because people have been there. I mean, being deplatformed is it's real, and then there's also a way to let people make money off the data. Like, you're putting stuff out all day and people are following you. Like, why the fuck should Twitter make all the money on it? Or like, let's think about ways that if you're an asset, like, so I don't even think we know what can happen. Twitter is just one form of social. Who knows about the other stuff out there? I mean, I don't know. My kids are using TikTok and Roblox, and it's like, it's insane. I mean, it's literally insane. So who knows?
That is a money vacuum. Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite. Like, that's where all the money is. We've got real world assets. We've got liquid staking derivatives. We have Dexes and other forms of making it easier for people to trade without a centralized exchange. What else? What else is on the docket, Jew.Bacca? What are you looking at?
So this is kind of on that it's like a combination of Dexes and making it easier for normies to access the market. Have you heard of Change?
No,
So
CHAIN.
GE.
CHAIGE.
Yeah, so I believe it's a competitor to Layer 0, but I haven't dug too deep into the tech yet. But it's essentially like a cross-chain DeFi app that you can literally trade.
You know what it is. It's not so much that it's a competitor to Layer 0. We actually did a long form article on this about a year and a bit ago. What it is that it provides. So it's cross-chain, but in the sense that liquidity exists on all chains that isn't moving around. It's actually present there already. Whereas something like Layer 0 will move it around through messaging, whereas this is liquidity that already exists. So they essentially have secured the liquidity through various market makers, pools, and the rest of it.
So it's kind of like a mobile app for Synapse in a way.
100%. So the greatest value proposition that Change brings to the table is that you can use your phone for one. So DJ, who's the founder, his whole thing is that I want this thing to work on mobile phones. I want this thing to be accessible primarily through the Asian market because that's where they started. That's where their home base is. And everyone uses phones here. They need to be able to transact, trade. So imagine the whole experience that is DeFi on your phone without any glitches. It's remarkable. It's a remarkable product.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that rocks. So you're looking at Change, Jew.Bacca?
Yeah, and more, I haven't done enough research yet, but I know that's just like one example of, a bigger narrative of, easy mobile applications bringing DeFi to.
Yeah, I've used Argent a whole lot, which is a ZK enabled mobile wallet, and it's partnered with Ramp and MoonPay for on and off ramping.
Cool.
And it's smooth, dude. Like, not only can I farm the ZK airdrop just by doing, some DCAs of my favorite coin USDC through it, but you have like instant settlement, zero knowledge proofs on a mobile app. And it's like, this is what I like to see, where we're taking that really highly technical end of things and we're just like fading it into the background and being like, press button, buy, pay here. And you don't have to know that it's ZK. You don't even have to care.
How do you spell it again? What is it?
ARGENT.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yep.
I need an excuse to farm that airdrop too. So
yeah. It'll send it right to your ZK wallet. When like once you purchase, it'll be there and then you can bridge it.
You know what I'm finding like super interesting, and I think Rob, you can relate to this, is that being a market commentator and obviously like diving deep into all these projects doesn't afford me the opportunity to actually go out and do all of this stuff. It's like I have all this knowledge, but I'm almost like paralyzed by it, that I can't do anything. And I'm like sharing all this information and it's like coming in and I'm like barely like coping with all this info that I'm getting, that I'll end up just sharing it, like random sharing, and I'm just not benefiting off of it like in the way that you guys are able to. So enjoy it.
You can't be a beta tester for
what do you want to be?
Yeah. What do you want to be? So I made the decision.
Are you talking about benefiting? Yeah, I mean, you becoming a media mogul.
I mean, we're a media company, but then we get to get involved in projects from the ground level and sometimes at a foundational level, which is what I always wanted. I didn't want to be the guy that was
Jedi's got deal flow now, baby.
I wanted to be the guy dumping on everybody else. Yeah.
Or never dumping at all.
Or never dumping at all. I mean, but that's what Messi's whole thing is like, dudes, I'm gonna dump on you. Just deal with it. It's kind of like
he's gonna pump you up if you're already in it when he enters.
So just in, guys, the US Treasury says that decentralized crypto markets threaten national security.
Oh, yeah. That's huge, because when they say the words national security, whole different ball game. It enables so much jurisdictional firepower that didn't exist. But once you make it a national security issue, that's when the vultures can really start to circle.
Bottom line, like, US is going to be left behind. Like US people don't use it. Let everyone else use stuff. Seriously, it's a global thing. Don't let US people use it then. And just
from a US perspective, I've got a question for the three of you. From a US perspective, is there a consideration around relinquishing your citizenship so that you can pursue whatever it is profession that you might choose within the crypto space? Because I mean, isn't that what is now becoming an option?
Yeah, but I mean, I could be involved and still live here and not, serve the U.S. population with my protocol. So
Yeah.
there's still it is what it is. I think it sucks that we're going to be left behind for a bit, but we can still be involved.
It's never been better for the global user base, non-US. Like, don't let US people do it. Build great stuff for non-US people. Do not let US people use it. Let them, cry to their senators and reps that you're hurting us. Let them vote in new people. Let them create realistic and rational, laws and stuff. So it's going to take time, but the bottom line is, do I wish I could sit here and trade, futures outside of like CME futures through a Schwab account? Yeah, you're damn right. I wish I could. If that was the big thing in my life, then I would move, and I don't think you'd have to kind of renounce citizenship, but move and but there's a lot of stuff we can use, and you can still build it for other people to use, but you have to be diligent about not letting US people use it. And it's a shame, dude. Like the whole
it is a shame.
But this is more than just crypto. Like the US political, it's a shit show right now in general. Like people talk about what Trump doing a perp walk here, like and just the political bullshit between the Democrats and the Republicans about all of that. Like,
Rob, they're not attacking Trump. They're attacking you, and Trump is standing in the way. Okay.
I know. It's so, I mean, this is not just crypto. We are idiotic on everything right now.
Yeah.
And it's a real opportunity for non-US countries to wouldn't it be something if Bitcoin goes to 1 million and all of a sudden like El Salvador in terms of their policy was like, they were the smartest central bank of any of you idiots.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I'm just throwing it out.
I was just say that, like, the lack of
nation leader becomes becomes one of the most powerful.
No, seriously, I mean, like the humanitarian in me says that it actually gives an opportunity for less fortunate people and less fortunate countries to get a leg up on people in in the US. And so it's actually not all bad.
Well, it's important
we can't put a value on that. I agree with you. Go ahead. Sorry.
The key, I think, operative words in that release are national security and decentralized, because they said decentralized cryptocurrency is a threat to national security, and what they mean is CBDCs incoming. Like what they're saying is like, put your trust into centralized cryptocurrency because this is for terrorists. And however funny or obviously persecutorial that is, like I don't think it spells the end of blockchain economic activity in the US. I just think it's the onset of centralized blockchains in the US.
Agreed. I think you've hit the nail on the head, sir.
We promised we would talk about this.
Yeah.
So, and I know that Jew.Bacca is not long for this world, so let's talk about it, right? So it was what day was this, dude? April 3rd.
It was Monday. Was it Monday?
Holy crap! But it's probably only Monday.
It feels like 3 cycles have happened since Monday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I'm happy to report that I was underwater short when this happened. So it was really actually a great thing for me. But for the market, it was pretty catastrophic. Cobie, our favorite crypto Cobie, tweeted a hash, SHA-256 hash, which is a way to predict something without revealing what you are predicting until it, comes to bear. So you can say a lot of shit, and if it comes true, you can reveal the actual text and they can check that it's true. However, when it comes to encoding, what is this, 5 words? Pretty easy thing to crack. So within minutes, someone had cracked it and found out.
I don't think
that
it's that easy to crack.
It is. When it depends on the amount of data, but this is not much data to crack. You can brute force this with my computer in like an hour, or
Really?
if you're lucky, 5 minutes, which was the case. Someone cracked it, and
So he posted a bunch of other ones that people didn't crack. So
maybe they're longer.
Yeah, maybe.
They're probably longer.
He was trying to prove that it was not easy to crack. It was very difficult to crack. And then he was basically saying that he gave his like key to someone else who like leaked it, essentially.
Ah, okay. Well, maybe that's the case. I saw some articles talking about like the math that goes into cracking these, and it seemed to say that the shorter it was, the easier it was to do with like a modern era computer. But maybe that's wrong. Either way, we were all in the pit hanging out when this happened, and like we started to see the reaction, and I was like, yes, positionally, not existentially. And yeah, the market, drew down like 3% in a matter of like 5-minute candles.
Altcoins just nuked.
Yeah,
nuked.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
he felt quite bad about this, actually. He was quite remorseful after the fact.
Yeah, he took it pretty hard.
Yeah, he did. He's a good guy.
You know what? Cobie. Sometimes a man on social media doesn't know his strength.
Yeah.
And
he's always known it, but I think this confirmed it, like without, like he knew it, but this was kind of like this massive stamp of confirmation. Like, okay, I'm actually a badass. I need to keep it together now.
How about the fact that also, like, I got nervous because you just don't, the idea of manipulation, right? I don't think, and I'm almost certain, like I never thought that there's no way Cobie would lose like his ethical kind of reputation or risk it by like getting short
for a short
and buying it in.
Agreed.
No chance. No chance.
100%. Not only that, but with his size, like you can't discreetly get that short and make that much money.
That you cannot win from that. There is no happy ending there. Honestly, you can't do that in markets, period. Like we have to, there's a certain level of ethics we have to have. And I come from being like, a professional there. You just can't do that if you just can't. So it's a shame because who knows what time it was in his head, or if he had a few drinks, or if he was high, or if he whatever. And it could have been the funny, just funny in his head, and he's going through and he's doing it. But like to think about really then the dominoes that fall there, it's scary. And markets right now, like the one thing we've seen is that liquidity in general is lower than it was by a long shot.
Yeah.
No one's putting their,
look at these wicks.
Everyone's size is, everyone's size is down. Everyone's like, you're not showing your size. If you see something happen, you see a headline, people are acting on it. There's algos who are acting on, like, you better believe there's people looking for, keywords of Interpol and CZ and Binance and all that shit. Like, so as soon as it comes on, machines are firing regardless. So
yeah,
it didn't make me feel good. It just,
well, it came out round here on the chart is what I believe. Because I had positioned short just seeing this absorption here, and I really do think that like we were gonna get a down wave anyways, and this was seen as an opportunity to exacerbate that down wave.
Yep.
I don't think anyone dumped their Bitcoin because they thought CZ was going to get arrested by Interpol.
Well, I love, like, that's the meme about technical analysis. Like the chart knew that Cobie was about to get his message was about to get decrypted, right? That's why you're there. Like the chart knew, TA knew it. Like that was a spot, But it's It's wild. Guys, this has been great. I've got to jump for a meeting. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit
Rob, thank you so
No
much
worries.
for joining us, dude. It was great to have that
Dude,
sort of
any-
institutional perspective, sir.
Love the
For
energy,
someone who's
man.
been there.
Oh, not
You're not an institution,
not
but you've been
institution.
there, you know?
Dude,
we haven't.
they call us fucking locals. Like if you want like locals would be another name for this. We were locals. Locals were the guys, the schmucks, like we were scrappy as hell, and some locals became the biggest institutions on earth. But I'm a fucking local, dude. Like
Rob,
the
before
ape
you,
who also
before you
owns
go,
a
Rob,
couple of suits.
before you go,
In
Rob,
the
thank you
pit.
for
Yeah.
making a dream come true for me, bro.
What's that, buddy?
Hey,
Just-
dude, I've fucking always wanted to be in the space with you doing exactly what we just did. So thank you
Fuck
very
yeah.
much, bro.
Hell yeah.
Well, this
You're
will
a
be the
fucking
first.
king,
This will be
bro.
the first of many.
Yeah.
No, this will be the first of many, my man. I love this shit. If I could schedule 8 of these all day, I would do it. So it's,
Take it easy, dude.
Hopefully one day I will. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah, great
I
chatting, man.
appreciate it.
Peace out,
Have me.
sir.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So we covered Cobie Tweet. Jew.Bacca, you got to run or you got a little bit more?
Yeah, I got like 10 minutes left.
All right. So
so,
let's
yeah,
talk
we
about
can
it.
kinda-
Alt season. What's up?
Yeah, I
going on, bud?
you know, I already kind of, you know, broadcasted my thesis. So, you know, I think there's going to be one last push here. You know, I think that there's liquidity that can be grabbed and dumped on. So, yeah, I see that happening. I'm positioned. I'm heavily in STG. I'm in Canto, which looks like it wants to run again. And when
Yeah.
Canto runs, it's just insane. I'm in
So
Poison.
when you say one more push, where are you? Just explain what that means in your context.
Yeah, I think ETH kind of you know, pushes higher. Maybe it tops at 2K. Maybe we break 2K a little bit. You know, fake people out at 2100. But you know, altcoins just fucking rip. And you know, we're kind of getting these signals right now on, you know, which altcoins are going to rip the hardest. You know, which coins have bounced the hardest: Canto, ARB, Stargate. That's kind of what I'm
STX?
looking
What
at.
about STX?
I actually haven't looked at STX, but usually that's really solid Bitcoin.
That's been
data.
really strong. So I think
Yeah.
like from a strength perspective over the last couple of months, STX probably been one of the strongest performers. I think it would be like a really good exercise. Circa, if you could bring that comparative chart up.
It's up here
I don't
right
know
now,
if you've
sir.
got one, yeah. What's it called?
Mhm.
What's that comparative chart called?
Oh, the comparison.
Alt Getty.
Oh, Alt Getty. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Here's
that
Alt
one.
Getty.
So what's at the top? What was the strongest performer at the top?
If we anchor from the most recent nuke, INJ, which I'm long on right now,
Yes.
looks
Yeah, INJ.
and
Looks really. Wow. Okay.
looks and INJ are the only ones worth talking about right
Looks
now.
I'm surprised at.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
too.
I mean, everyone's
that's a bit
it's
of a
been cooked the
curveball
whole
for me.
time. We were all expecting
Yeah.
it to break out on the Blur airdrop. We were all
Yep.
expecting it to break out earlier than that, just because it had its run and everything else was going.
Yep.
Now it looks like it's finally doing it.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
interesting.
So I
Yeah.
think that's probably and where's STX in that? Does it feature?
It's not even on the screen, Jedi.
That's weird, man.
No, hold on, let me find it. Yeah, I can't even see, dude.
I don't.
Circa, was
I don't have
STX
a, I don't have a bag, by the way. I
I've
genuinely thought it
longed
was-
and shorted STX like a million times.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
was that? Was that what you and RT were talking about? Looked like a great short
It's
idea.
a layer 2, dude. I said
No, that
it's
was
a layer 2 for
CFX.
Bitcoin.
Oh,
That's what it
CFX,
is,
okay.
right? Stacks
Yeah,
is a layer 2
Stacks
for
is
Bitcoin.
like
Yeah.
yeah, it's the smart contract execution layer for Bitcoin, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, how can that not be a bullish product?
I worry if we do get a true alt season, though, that means that BTC
Bitcoin
cuts.
derivatives.
Right, exactly. So,
Yeah.
like, would that affect a derivative of BTC?
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense why it was sending so hard when Bitcoin had, taken
Yeah.
center stage. So
But I mean,
I have a
Oh, go ahead.
I have a question for you guys because I genuinely don't know the answer to this one. Is that don't you need a retail influence in order to have an alt run, or will it do it fine within the echo chamber that we're in at the moment?
Alt season?
Yeah.
I don't think, because I mean, typically in an all season environment, it is liquidity rotation because BTC is
Okay.
already topped. That's the strongest alt seasons is when BTC is already topped.
Yes.
And so it's money flowing out of BTC into these low caps and they just explode as a result. The only alt season I've seen where that wasn't the case was this, dude.
Yeah,
This was probably
earlier.
the strongest alt season we've seen right here.
Yeah, it was when
that was
Arbitrum
January,
shit
right?
just absolutely ripped.
February.
Yeah.
That was in Feb.
Yep.
Yeah.
It
That
was
was
nuts,
insane.
dude.
I mean, that was everyone made. I mean, even I made money, dude. Like working and caning, like countless hours working and writing, and I even made money. It was so easy, but it was also really easy to let go of it, which I discovered very quickly. And
I round tripped a lot of it.
Yeah, dude. I promise you, like I was cooking. I was just really like probably like 10x, and then I started doing stupid shit, and I basically like gave 3-4x back, and I'm like, I'm stopping, I'm done, you know. And I had to like consciously just like pull the money and stop because otherwise it would have ended in tears.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, like it would make sense that we get a liquidity rotation driven alt season here before we reject range highs. That's kind of my thesis.
Yeah.
But I also have this
rejecting highs
nagging
now?
feeling that like you're not guaranteed an alt season, and we may not get. It would be the ultimate cucking if we did not get one.
Yeah.
And that's what the market likes to do. It likes to go for max cuck.
But I think people are so schizo right now that everyone has so quickly flipped to being defensively positioned. I would normally agree with you, but I think everyone's short right now.
Seeing everybody, all the perma bulls go like we're going down. Not only gave me confidence and longing over the last few days, but also, it made me think like, okay, maybe we get it.
Yeah, like Don Alt selling, Ansem flipping, bearish.
That's it.
That's the best one.
Yeah.
For me. I don't think Jedi knows that we think of him as this, but like for me, Ansem is like a Kramer.
Well, I wonder how he would feel about that if he knew that was the...
I don't think he would care, dude.
I don't know. But I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't do great research because he does. I'm just saying like
I think he's one of the greatest researchers in the space, but I'm not going to fade what you guys are saying by any stretch of
the I'm not saying anything about that. I'm saying he's a great researcher.
So Jew.Bacca hates Ansem.
No. I'm just saying like, you know, macro market movement type takes, you know.
Yeah.
I would fade those.
Yeah, I definitely.
So whose opinion would you value around what's going on at the moment? Because right now, quick analysis. We've got a schizo perspective around this. There's a 50-50 right now. You saying everyone's short? I don't think so. I think if you had to do, I mean, what is the open interest at the moment? I think it's actually very much even across the board. I don't think it's one way. I don't think it's weighted in one direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
And I think that we really do have it's like the purest yin and yang I've seen in the market ever, where like people's opinion that you value are both long and short. They kind of like on one side, like you value this person's opinion, they're like, fuck this, it's going to 32. We're going to see some serious fireworks. And then another dude who's like you respect as well, saying, no, this thing's fucking going to 20.
Yeah, I mean, Trader XO shorted this and then longed this because he thought the same thing. He's like, I have no idea what's going to happen here. I'm just going to capture some value between these two extremes and take off whatever doesn't play out. And I think that's this. If you looked at the chart and you asked what people's mood was, this is what you would get. It's obvious.
Schizo.
Yeah, of course, everyone's schizo right now, but it's also like, the people bullish here are bullish into resistance, and that's a hard thing to ignore for me. So I don't know. I don't know.
But we all know that if it does break, but if Sailor and if CZ with his monopoly money couldn't make that resistance crumble, then I don't know what is, boys.
Yeah. I'm not saying that resistance breaks. Yeah.
That's alarming. The reaction we got on ETH BTC from this underside retest is alarming. I like that it's catching its first bid since then here. That's great. But does it take us above this range? I don't know. Not really not really sure either way, so I'm just playing intraday scams for now.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We don't know. The beautiful thing is we actually at this point in time, trend says we should continue going up, but we actually don't know. The trend is up. There's no denying it.
Oh yeah, let's
trend is up.
Yeah.
But that resistance is a bitch, man.
It is. We've got, market structure is up. For
Definitely.
sure. Can't argue with that. So
cool,
yeah,
boys.
The only other things that were on our radar were oil and credit cycle and AI. I don't know if you want to talk about that, Jew.Bacca, or you got to run. Maybe we save it for next time.
Yeah, I think we can table
All right, cool. Yeah. It's not like anyone watching cares about oil and the credit cycle anyways.
Yeah, it'll still be there next week.
Yeah. Well, rockin' stream. Thank you so much, Jedi, for coming on. We really appreciate you, bud.
Thank
and
you for having me.
As the OG Pidian, anytime you want to come back on, we would love it. And thank all of you for watching. If you're a pit member and you have some opinions, we'd love to hear them. We would love to have more pit members on. Maybe we could do like a call-in stream or something in the future. It'd be sick, but we truly love having a video live version of what's in the pit every day. If you're not in the pit, go to hxro.com. That's hxro.com. Go to community and join up. We love seeing those white names in the pit. When you join, you will have a white color name. And as you advance to Jedi's level, it may get green. Who knows? So we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much.
Boys. Like and subscribe.
Peace out, y'all.
Thanks.
Guys.